a gamer. Period. Video games are everywhere, and I have been playing them basically my whole life. Seriously, no joke, the doctor was holding me, and I was playing Nagito Kamaeda for the Nintendo DS straight out of the womb. I was particularly a Wii child, so that's gonna be the focus for today. Now, I could go on about my experiences with popular titles you all know, like New Super Mario Bros. Wii, where it took me like 11 years to beat Larry Koopa. Frick you, Larry, literally worst Koopaling. And I thought I beat the entire game, only to realize Row 1 was just a puny appetizer before the gargantuan main course. But nah, I want to talk about the more obscure titles you've most likely never even heard of, because that's just what I did as a Wii lad. Pretty sure there's a certain demographic that doesn't even know what a Wii is if they don't even know what a DS is. But this is the console I grew up with, and that's what I want to talk about. So if you don't know what a Wii is, you're lying. Because you aren't real. The first game, Barbie Jet Set in Style. I just want to iterate, no, I wasn't super girly, I wasn't into Barbies, I honestly don't even remember how this game came into my possession. Pretty sure we found it in the clearance section for like half a penny. You're Barbie's top fashionista, and you're supposed to help clients from all over the world to aid with mainly their hair, but also their makeup, nails, and attire. Which, first of all, bro, paying for a private beauty jet from all over the globe has gotta be, like, Six Flags expensive. Like, hun, I don't think your first date is worth taking out a loan to get your nails painted a weird tint of green.
What in the
Strange
goddamn?
meta and conventionality aside, this was a really fun game where you just hairstyle and make girls look fabulous. Cutting, curling, straightening, dyeing. Oh, and dyeing hair, I guess. The best part of the game was easily picking out the outfits. I don't know, they were so fun choosing a fit, even if there wasn't an incredible amount of choices. Though I never want to deal with cutting hair again because there would never be any symmetry, and not only did it cause me immense OCD, it always stressed me the hell out! My haircuts were about as consistent as the animation of your average Miraculous Ladybug episode. But anyway, this game is a superior fashion and beauty game, and is way better than that one mobile game you see every other ad. Next game, ZhuZhu Pets. Out of every game I mentioned today, I think this is the only game I 100% completed without anyone's help. Did you guys own ZhuZhu Pets? You know, the little hamsters with wheels? The ones that would get caught in your hair? They were better than Furbies, I promise you. And also, I will never forgive Spin Master for what they did to these guys when they decided to reboot them. Literally, what is this? But yeah, ZhuZhu Pets, and they had video games. There was another ZhuZhu Pets game, but I want to talk about specifically ZhuZhu Pets featuring the Wild Bunch. The ZhuZhu Pets are given a letter saying their friends have been kidnapped, which is like, okay, that's raw. And they have been invited to play an extreme game of tag where they must tag all of the Wild Bunch in order to set their friends free. There's about 20 different ZhuZhus you could play as, and I always went with either Justice or Shamrock. And I think I specifically played as them because of their neon bright colors that stood out among the very dull colors from the rest of the gang. The game itself was a straightforward platformer, unlocking power-ups, solving puzzles, so basically a Super Mario's imitation. But hey, it had its own unique gimmicks, and you had to race the Wild Bunch at the end of each world, which I thought was cool. And I also thought that the animation for rolling up and down the slides was really goofy. I also love how in this universe a hamster is the same size as a raccoon, when in real life the sizes are like this. For a kids game, I gotta hand it to them. It was way more comprehensible and easy to understand, and the mechanics were a lot better than a certain game I'm about to mention. Next game, SpongeBob Truth or Square. I know I said I only wanted to talk about obscure games, and SpongeBob games definitely have a cult following of its own, but I'm only bringing up this game because of a story that I need to get off my chest. In the second stage, you're met with this area of these dangerous kelp traps that if you stand on top of them, they'll swallow you whole. And there's a section where they're everywhere. I spent years trying to meticulously get through the traps without touching them. But they just wanted to nibble at the sponge so desperately. Like, bro, there's SpongeBob popsicles right over there. And don't tell me I should have just looked up a walkthrough of the game. I didn't believe in walkthroughs back then because I wanted to be a pro gamer and figure it out myself. The only thing there besides the kelp traps was this power-up that would summon Sandy and she would go karate mode and kill everything in the way. I would literally just use the power-up and run around the kelp trap-free area because I just didn't know what else to do, and then eventually get bored and restart the game before I eventually get to that same area. One day, I was in my routine and twirling my karate hands like an idiot, and I got a little too close to one of the kelp traps and completely destroyed it? The solution was right under my nose this whole time? Okay, in retrospect, I should have been able to put 2 and 2 together, but I was convinced that touching the kelp traps no matter what would have hurt you. I was so pissed at discovering that was the solution that I just gave up on the game entirely. And that's why you don't make games for children. I also owned this Littlest Pet Shop Wii game. Yes, this is the second video in a row where I mentioned Littlest Pet Shop. I really enjoyed the franchise as a kid. But I owned Littlest Pet Shop Friends on the Wii, and I honestly couldn't tell you anything about the gameplay itself because of yet another story I have to get off my chest. The only gameplay thing that I remember was working in a bakery making cakes for everyone. Because, yeah, it's a food-making game directed at children. Of course it's gonna be fun. But the story I have with this game is I had owned it for maybe a few weeks at this point, and one day I went into the basement where my Wii console is with all my games, and I saw a spider crawling on the ground, and I'm like, oh, hell no! And I smashed it with the nearest thing I could pick up, which happened to be the Wii game of Littlest Pet Shop Friends. But after I killed the spider guts were on the case, and I refused to touch the case afterward beyond that point, so I never continued the game. Yeah, now allow me to set the stage for the last game I'm going to be talking about today. So y'all heard of Mario Party and Wii Party, right? Well, have you heard of the absolutely radiant, imperial, benevolent party game known as Disney Channel AllStar Party? Honestly, if I still owned this game, I would be playing it every single day. There's no board you play on, it's literally just playing minigames and you get points for first. You get to experience the worlds of all the relevant Disney Channel shows from 2010, which included Wizards of Waverly Place, Sunny with a Chance, Hannah Montana, Sweet Life on Deck, and Phineas and Ferb, and also their movie Camp Rock. You can play as a character from these shows, or as your own me, and duke it out in these minigames inspired by the shows. Allow me to give a rundown of some of my personal favorite minigames. Seeky Magic. Essentially red light, green light with the teacher where you cast spells behind his back. Which, real quick, the writing on this teacher's whiteboard is so real. Pie Fight. Pretty self-explanatory, but the chaos of throwing and dodging in this game is what absolutely takes the pie. SS Tipton Bridge Cross. Try to knock off the other players with life preservers and try to dodge them yourself. Literally felt like something straight out of Wipeout. Fandemonium. Basically being Taylor Swift and running away from her stampede of fans while jumping over obstacles. This is what schools should be doing in gym class instead of the pacer test, honestly. Mad Props, where you get to embody random equals funny. Nothing else to say here. Camp Rock Dance Off. Just dance but on steroids, basically. And you get to listen to Camp Rock's banger, It's On, and the dance animation is corny as hell. Bro, look at them go! They're slaying, Your Honor! Tug-of-War. It's literally the same thing as Mario Parties with a Disney Channel skin. So very stress-inducing. Meanwhile, you literally get crushed by a pie if you lose. And the best for last, Move It or Lose It. Musical chairs, basically. Easily my favorite game. It's always got the adrenaline pumping in me, and it really made me realize how musical chairs is just the OG battle royale, and I need to play musical chairs again. Competitively. If there's a professional musical chairs tournament out there, hit me up. Also, I love how if you win, your character just mixes between an expression of excitement and shock. They're so real for that. I will say the only thing I have to complain about this game is despite featuring Phineas and Ferb, you can't play as any of the characters for some stupid reason. God damn it. Overall, 10 out of 10, but I get pissy thinking about what I could have had as a child. So yeah, I did play a lot of obscure Wii titles, but I'm curious to know if anybody else played these games or at least has any memories of them, because nobody knows what I'm talking about when I mention these games 9 times out of 10. So please, let me know, asking for a friend once again, or if you want to play them yourselves, I'm sure you can find them on the Dolphin emulator. Probably, I don't know. So, what did we learn today? We shouldn't make games for children, and I'm a bit of a moron. Peace!